Welcome to this short video. Our aim with this is to help you to understand how important the behavioural and emotional side of coaching is, the huge impact it can have on your effectiveness as a deliverer and the experience that your participants have. So what is emotional intelligence in simple terms? The ability to understand and control your emotions and the emotions of those around you and manage your relationships accordingly. So why is emotional intelligence so important? Because emotions drive thoughts, thoughts drive behaviour, and behaviour drives performance in your role and in the outcomes you are trying to achieve for your participants. What goes on under the surface has a huge impact on what you see. So what emotions are we talking about? And how can we go about getting better in this area? Imagine that you're the coach of a local youth team and that you've reached the cup final. You're hoping to go one better than last season when you lost in the final. It's the night before, and you're worried, and you're lying in bed, dealing with lots of emotions. Have you given the players enough training? Have you given them adequate pep talks? Has the game plan been worked through properly? Has the preparation been good enough? Have you done enough as their coach? This isn't the only thing keeping you awake. You're also worried because your mum hasn't been very well recently. She relies on you a lot, and you feel that you have been neglecting her. At 9:30 the next morning, you arrive at the ground, and the kids start arriving soon after. There are many issues that could be relevant both for you as the coach and for the team. Areas such as your levels of stress management, emotion regulation, your ability to regulate your own emotions, and your levels of optimism. For the kids, how are they managing their emotions? And the extent to which they're expressing this, emotion expression, will be key. Videos 1 and 2 in this series has more information on these areas. For the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on a key facet of emotional intelligence, emotion perception. Emotion perception is the ability to perceive emotions both in yourself and in others around you. So, starting with you in this scenario, when you wake up the next morning, how good are you at recognising those emotions that were and still are flooding your mind, as well as appreciating that you're going to be tired because those emotions have caused you to have a sleepless night? Looking to the players, how can you make sure you pick up on their emotions when they arrive at the ground and start preparing for the match? And why is this important? Because no matter how hard you and the players have trained and how ready you all are for the final, emotions will play a key part in determining whether you can all perform to your maximum potential. Starting with you, how can you make sure that you have recognised the emotions you have been and are experiencing and try and understand them? A simple way to do so is to go through the what and why process. Take some time to ask yourself these questions, writing things down if it helps. What am I feeling? And why am I feeling this? For example, it might be in this situation that you're feeling nervous. So ask yourself, why am I feeling nervous? Is it because I haven't prepared the team properly? To which the answer is hopefully no. Is it because we lost the final last year? Is it because I know how disappointed the players will be if they lose? Asking yourself these questions can help you pinpoint exactly what is causing your relevant emotions, which then of course means that you can start trying to deal with them. So, following this through, you might have worked out that you're nervous, but not because you think the players will be disappointed if they lose, but because they will be disappointed if they don't give a good account of themselves. Working this out will enable you to approach your team talk to the players in an entirely different way. You'll focus on the players playing to the best of their ability and giving it everything, rather than the need to win. You might also have worked out that you're tired and stressed. Tired because of the bad night's sleep. You must therefore remind yourself that this might affect your behaviour during the day, and to try and summon up as much energy as you can for before, during and in the immediate aftermath of the game. Some of your stress might be down to your mother's situation. You will tell yourself that you can't do anything about that today, so you'll try and put it to one side for now and deal with it later. Take the time to do this in advance of reaching the ground. Another suggestion is to ask other coaches how they deal with these more pressurised situations. Have they got any tips they can pass on? And what about picking up on the emotions of the players? They might all deal with the pressure of a final in an entirely different way and all be feeling very different emotions. How can you use your antennae to pick up on all of this? One very simple technique is to greet each of them personally as they come into the changing room. Say hello, maybe shake their hand and have a quick word with them to try and establish how they are. Once they're all in, let them settle themselves down and try and take a feel of the room. What's the atmosphere like? How do they all seem to be reacting to the situation? Is it as normal or does the vibe seem different? Which kids are quieter than normal, which might suggest they're extremely nervous? And which kids are louder than normal, which again may be a symptom of nerves? And if the kids are nervous, please do have a look at video 2, which gives some tips on adopting a positive mindset. So yes, the game plan and focusing on the technical elements are key, but that people side is also really important. And as ever, follow best practice in terms of reflection. Ask yourself, what did you do well and what could you have done better? So to recap, think about what's going on below the surface. Remember that emotions drive thoughts, thoughts drive behaviour, and behaviour drives performance in your role and in the outcomes you're trying to achieve for your participants. When you consider the emotions side of things, remember to think about you, others as individuals, and the group as a whole. How you react to and deal with things will have a huge impact on the success of the session. Remember, in the kind of scenario described, to use the what and why process, ask other coaches for advice and help, and make sure you do it in good time. And greeting players individually can help you gauge how they're feeling. After each session, ask yourself, what did I do well and what could I have done better? And ideally, write this down.